from the beautiful state of Texas. Congressman, very good to have you. What do you make of this Keystone move? It's not a shock. I think a lot of people were ready for it. The Canadians aren't happy about it. What do you think?
You know, I had signed on with 16 of my fellow freshmen Republican congressional members to try to work with this president, because for the last 4 years, you know, I've been very critical of Democrats who have spent their entire time fighting to try to undermine the actions of President Trump. While President Trump was trying to open the economy, while he was focused on national security, while he was working at lowering unemployment rates, making us more competitive globally, I just saw an entire party completely focused on impeachment, Russian collusion, and doing everything that they could to stop the success of the president. I didn't want to be one of those. I wanted to reach out across the aisle and say, we need to work with you on issues. We need to work with you on things like health care and making sure that people with pre-existing conditions are helped. We need to work on expanding our economy again and bringing jobs back, on working on critical infrastructure projects. In the first day of Joe Biden's presidency, what we saw him do was basically destroy much of the work that has been successful over the last 4 years. And the Keystone Pipeline was key to that. I mean, within one day, one signature of the pen, $1.6 billion in wages gone. Thousands and thousands of jobs gone. At a time in this pandemic when we need them the most. He needs to bring Republicans to the table to have these discussions, because whoever is advising him right now is doing him no favors and is doing the American people no favor. He needs to know about how these policies are going to crush the working families that so badly right now are looking at ways to be able to put food on their table, to be able to get back to work. None of this is helping them. It is hurting them. And he needs Republicans at the table to be able to have these discussions.
You know, I know we've been so focused on the Senate, Congressman, about what's going to happen there in a 50-50 Senate. I think the real battle is in the House, where you are, where, you know, the edge that Democrats have is barely double digits. And I'm wondering how the House plays into this. I mean, you talk about you and more than a dozen colleagues similarly minded to want to work with him, and then a decision like this and all these executive orders that seem to indicate maybe a different direction from what he's saying. So what will be your priority in dealing with him, especially when the issue of stimulus comes up, a $1.9 trillion package after that, a hike in taxes in the upper income and some companies, then what?
While you know, we've reached out an olive branch to say we want to work together on policy issues, I've said that all along. I'll work with any adult in the room who's actually interested in rolling their sleeves up and working. I will also not be shy about being very critical of policies that are going to crush the American economy, that are bad for our national security. I'm hopeful that you have a class, 45 new freshman Republicans that have come to D.C. to do exactly that, to work for the American people. And I think right now you see in leadership that we are going to be very vocal, very strong, can pick and choose what best fits their families, what they can afford. But those are the things that are really the meat and potato issues. Talking about right now, ending deportations for the next 100 days. I mean, think about what that's causing just to my state, my great state of Texas. I mean, opening that up to drug cartels, to gang violence, to human trafficking. We need to help people right now who need it the most. We need to be targeted, we need to be timely, and we need to make sure that extension of policy is helping people. And right now, in one day alone, what I have seen is crushing policies that we're going to need to be vocal about, but we're also going to have to make sure that we're bringing solutions to the table. I know I'm right now working on a number of bills to help voter integrity. We're working on ways of being able to incentivize critical manufacturing jobs to come back here to make them more competitive globally. Those are the things that I'm working on, and I look forward to working with folks across the aisle that share those same concerns and actually are dedicated to helping those people who need it the most.